Hello, I am Julien Boast, and I am Hawthorne Cornwall's CEO and Creative Director. And for this role, I am being the executive producer.
Hello, I'm Helen Tiplady. I'm the Hawthorne Cornwall's Deputy Creative Director, and for Aladdin, I'm the producer.
Hello, I'm Edward Rowe. I'm playing Widow Twerky, and I'm one of the co-writers.
Lovely. So let's just talk a little bit about why are we doing Aladdin?
We are doing Aladdin because it's a romp and it's an adventure, and we haven't done it for a very long time. I can't remember the last time we've done it. So, and also it's got a dame, and because we had such a brilliant time with you, Ed, last year, I needed to find another dame for you. And Widow Twerky, which we're just doing a spoiler, is a perfect part that you've written, and it's going to be great fun.
So, Ed, I wonder if you could just talk a little bit about the writing process and how that's been as a writer this year.
The writing process, we probably started in May, I would have thought. We started writing in May. And it's always good fun because you think you know a show like Aladdin or any of the other pantomimes or fairy tales, but it's good fun to revisit them, watch all the stuff that's been made, take into consideration what we know about Aladdin, and really just start writing. And Rich Healy and I, the musical director, written it together. We wrote separately to start with. We took a couple scenes each, and before we know it, we'd written Act 1, and then we did the same for Act 2, pieced it all together, added a little bit of glue to stick it together, and we fed it back to you guys, had some great notes a couple of times, and then just kept working it. And it's been a real joy to sit there and write it, because we get to come into the Hall for Cornwall, which is really a real treat for a writer to go and sit where you're going to write, where you're writing for. I think it's probably underrated a little bit, actually, because you're just surrounded by the environment and you're talking to people. And we just had a good laugh, and we would send you guys bits. And if you came back to us roaring with laughter, we knew we had a winner. And of course, probably the most important thing is making ourselves laugh as well. And we laughed a lot.
And part of being a regional theatre is that all of those pantos across the country are bespoke to the sense of place and where they are. But actually the superpower that we can add to it is that Cornwall is very distinct in the nation. So whether you're a tourist or you're a resident, everybody gets where we're at. And that's the joy that we play with in terms of setting it in Cornwall and going on an adventure. And of course, the Cornish have always gone on adventures. So it just, there's something about it's authentic. It's not realistic because it's a pantomime, but actually its roots and it's where it sits is not it's not flippant. It's not, in a sense, so many of those big commercial pantomimes they put together really quickly. And actually we spend a year, don't we, Ed, just making these and polishing them and working on them. So
we do. And I think it works really well because, as you just alluded to, Julien, we love an adventure. We love a romp. And, I live in Falmouth, just outside, but once a month I'll pop into Truro and I still get a little tinge of excitement that I'm going to Truro, or when we're going abroad, we just love that sense of journey, and we love telling people that we've come from Cornwall and we're now in Plymouth or Exeter or Bristol or London. So I think it's a real winner for us taking an audience on a romp, on an adventure.
And so for us, we've both come to Falmouth University, and Falmouth University are really, really important people in this production. And so we both had a bit of an excitement because we've come onto campus.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
really nice as well, isn't it?
It's a fun day that we all look forward to once a year. This we record stuff and take photos. Yeah, definitely.
Can we just think about what is distinct about a Cornwall Playhouse production, with all that in mind and all the things that you've just said about it being an adventure and being based in Cornwall? And for me, I think there's something around, particularly with this script, about the heart of it and about belonging and family. And can we just have a little talk about that and what a Cornwall Playhouse production means and why it's distinct?
So we make it for the audiences, and that's bespoke, and we have a whole collection of Cornish actors and actors that might be from Wales or might be from London, and we are absolutely sincere and honest, and work really hard to make sure that, one, there's a sense of pride about what we're producing, and it is bespoke. So actually each year, every production we ever do, it's done once, run once, and then we don't go back and regurgitate anything. And so I think it's about, for us as a producing company, it's about honesty, it's about integrity, it's about putting the best resources, the best possible writers, the best possible musicians, and I think that jumps over into the audiences from the pros, and so that's what feels for me. I mean, what do you think? Because you've done Fisherman's Friends as well, which was one of ours. What do you say are the takeaways?
I think for me the biggest takeaway is that I feel like I know an audience really, really well in Cornwall. I certainly can't say that about everywhere, but I find that I can perform in Bugle Village Hall on a Friday night and Roach Village Hall on the Saturday night and do good numbers on both nights. And I think that sense of Cornishness, we really explore that, and all the teeny tiny little bits of humour that sometimes I change from night to night, place names, punchlines, just because we know an audience so well and we know what they like, we know what works, we know how to make them laugh, we know how to make them sing along, and it's kind of like a journey together. It's not us and them. I feel like we're one big group of people having a really wonderfully Cornish, fun evening.
And I watched you on 12 Days of Christmas last year, and as always, it just goes wrong, and you were lying on the floor and trying to get some order back, and you looked across and you went, "Oh, hello." And I can't remember, it was Luke or somebody, and you went, "Hello, Luke, how are you? How's your mum?" And actually, that was...
Yes. Tiff, not Tiff, I forgot her name, but her little boy had been really poorly like 10 years ago, and we'd, done some charity fundraising, and I hadn't seen him since he was like 6 and very, very, very poorly. And then suddenly, 3/4 of the way through the show, stop and have a little chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's part of that charm in terms of the stuff that we do all for Cornwall, and our audiences love us, and because so many people come back so often, actually you can lean across and say, "Oh, how are you? How are you doing?" Which wouldn't happen in many regional theatres.
No, I can't imagine it happening in Manchester or something where you just stop and you recognise a neighbour you saw from 10 years ago. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, and I love that. I think from the producing side as well, there's always a bit, Julien, you're very brilliant at kind of peering in and just being like, "What's gone wrong today? What can we watch today? What anarchy has happened today that we can embrace?" Is there anything that stands out for you from one of the shows from last time where something had gone slightly not in a direction you thought it might?
Well, what goes on in Hall for Cornwall stage? Maybe. Go on, I'll let you. Go on. What's the...
Well, there's one that I can't believe you... maybe you've just remembered my terrible faux pas last year.
I have just remembered it.
Oh, that was one of the worst moments of my life.
Go on. Go on, tell us.
My song is a Dolly Parton 9 till 5. We changed the lyrics. Spend my life married to a banker. Bam, bam, bam. Turns out he was nothing but ooh. And at a school show, I said the word you're probably all thinking of to 1,300 9-year-olds.
But you made them laugh. You made them laugh.
I've never seen a group of teachers laugh quite as much, actually.
Oh, I wish I did, because I was ready to just be swallowed up. I looked off stage and the company were just like, "What have you done?" But there was nowhere to go because the track is playing, the band are playing, so to keep going.
It was a shared experience.
But it's a really important point, that is that every single performance is bespoke for that audience that are there. And so it's the thing that makes a difference between Netflix or watching a film, is that actually that afternoon or that evening is for you, and everybody's putting their attention.
I mean, the question I get all the time is, don't you get bored doing the same things for a month? And I was like, we never, ever do the same thing. From the afternoon to the evening is different. It's never, ever the same. And that's probably the best thing about Panto is...
my favourite moment always is that, I'll be in the office sorting some stuff out, and on kids' shows, I always go in for the curtain up, because what happens when the lights go down for adults is everybody goes quiet. And of course, when you put the lights down for kids, they just go ballistic and jump up and down and scream. And actually for them, it can be their first trip to a theatre. and you guys just hook them in for life from that.
So. They love it. They absolutely love it, and their teachers love it, and they love it when we pick on their teachers. And again, I went to a secondary school called Poltaire in St Austell, and I always let Poltaire students know that, and it makes their day.
So, spoiler, are you going to pick on a teacher this year?
Yes.
Good.
Of course.
Of course.
We're, just to reassure anyone, we are, of course, looking at seating plans and working out which schools are where and who's going to be sitting on the end of which... No, we're not really. There's a really nice way, like thinking about the whole team and about how we make that magic and how we all share together in creating the shows. This year we're really lucky that we're joined by Nick Evans, who's a fantastic director, who is a very proud Welshman, who we've been talking to for a while. He seems really lovely, and he seems to really understand what we're trying to do and what we want to make this year, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah, he does. He's the real deal, isn't he? From London, knows how to make big shows, knows how to create intimate moments in big shows. He just gets it.
And I think he loves his local pantomime in Wales, and again, that repeating that sort of whole bespokeness, the whole sort of understanding the region, that actually we have an affinity with working with the Welsh, we have an affinity working with the Irish, we have affinity to going to Scotland, and that's really important in our DNA, about the sort of Celticness of, and a lot of that humour, or a lot of the, a lot of the language and the way that we speak and the way we do the timbre and how we put the resonance on other stuff is, and so he comes knowing and feeling as if he's a part of it. And that was one of the reasons we've been chasing him for a long time, is that we just thought actually he'd be a great fit and he'd get us. And he has, as soon as he has arrived, he just goes, oh yeah, I feel at home. This is a really good place to make some brilliant things happen. Yeah.
The one pantomime that I've done that's not been in Cornwall was at the New Theatre in Cardiff. And, our humour is similar. We're quite self-depreciating. We're very protective of our culture, but we love to talk about being Welsh or Cornish. We've got lots of silly phrases, lots of things we say. People know, tiny little villages in the valleys like we do in the Lizard. And Nick brings a wealth of experience how to keep that bubbling and keep it alive and create a show that's really welcoming and for everyone.
And he's cut his teeth on Billy Elliot. And was with it for a long time. So he knows how to develop that plot line or get the action to go, who's the hero in it and who's going to achieve and who's going to make things happen. So, and actually, for people that are listening, his credentials are phenomenal. He's travelled around the world doing massive musicals. And so this year we've bumped up the size of the number of dancers, and we've put more resources into the show. So we're really excited, actually, really excited.
Yeah, it's a really good point. We are. I was just thinking that we're going to have a lot more people on stage this year, and that's brilliant because we're also going to be bringing back returning choreographer Jevon, who choreographed Peter Pan with us. We're all nodding because we think Jevon's fantastic.
Jevon is the coolest man on the planet.
Yeah, Jevon is the coolest man on the planet.
I think in the universe, actually. He really is cool.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of a challenge to Jevon as well, to see if there's a way that we can incorporate some Cornish dance steps as well and make those dance steps as cool as he can. So he's working on that at the moment. We've got the auditions tomorrow for the youth ensemble.
And how many are coming tomorrow?
We're seeing 160 budding performers tomorrow, and we're looking for 12, so 2 teams of 6, and Jevon has choreographed a really fantastic routine that he's going to teach them and put them through their paces tomorrow.
Great.
And Helen, talk about the route to youngsters coming in on our show and what an amazing experience is for them.
Well, we are seeing 160 young people, and part of that is because I don't like to say no to anyone. So they've all taken the time to send us their applications and would like to come and have a go. So I'd like to see all of them. And everybody has an hour's workshop, so everybody gets to do some singing, do some dancing, do a bit of acting. And actually, it's going to be on our stage as well. So there'll be a moment where they get to step out on the stage, have a look behind the scenes at the dressing rooms. And sometimes even just the act of actually coming into the venue and having that experience is, we want to make that as good as if they join the team or not.
And that's exactly it. It's those wins are massive when you're an actor. You know, getting good feedback, those experiences, dance on the Hall for Cornwall stage. If you didn't get the job this year, it's important to remember that you might get it next year or the year after that, or in 10 years' time. Your time will come. But, you know, enjoy those experiences. Don't be too upset if it doesn't go your way, because it's a really important part of your learning.
And the additional thing that our young people get, which the grown-up actors don't have, is they get a certificate to say that they've been on our stage. So amazing. We're printing 160-odd certificates tomorrow, and Helen signs them all.
Oh, that's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic for a young actor to go away with that. It's brilliant. And they get to dance and work with someone who is as cool and as talented as Jevon. Yeah. And yes. Jevon got me doing dance moves a couple of years ago. I didn't think I could ever do. And he did.
He's really talented at that, isn't he? His thing around, you know, everyone can dance and everyone can move. I'm really looking forward to how those big musical numbers will land, because I'm excited.
I'll tell you how he does it. He's very sneaky. He'll get you to do something really simple and you're like, oh my goodness, I've got this. And then the next day he'll add a bit to it. It's a little bit tricky, and you eventually get it. And then you're like, wow, I've got this. And then in the afternoon, you'll be like, we're going to add this bit now. And you're like, when are you going to stop adding bits? But he's fantastic.
Oh, and those big musical numbers, I think I'm excited this year as well, because the fabulous Richard Healy is our musical director as well as our co-writer. So it's given Richard like an extra boost, doesn't it, to be able to write some fantastic versions of the songs that are going to be in the show this year. So yeah, I'd imagine that your dancing feet are going to be pushed.
Yes, I think that's probably the way to put it. Yeah, I'll get my insoles in, and we'll be well away.
And Sarah Markland, who was Tinkerbell and was lovely and gorgeous and made things happen in a beautiful way, she's coming back as a real baddie. And so you're going to see both sides of. And little known that Alan Ayckbourn, the very, very famous playwright, wrote a part where he had Sarah Markland in mind. And so again, there can't be many people in this world that can have that sort of accolade. So, you know, she's an amazing actor. So happy days. And of course, Gareth is back as well. So
yeah. Got a great team back this year. We've got an absolute A-team. We always do well with you guys cast brilliant people. But I think this year feels like it's all coming together, doesn't it? What's going to go wrong?
I'm just touching wood at the minute. The table is wooden, so I'm just going to tap the table. It's all coming together, hopefully. So yeah, we're excited. We're allowed to say, aren't we? Because we've just seen Sarah in her costume, ready for the photo shoot, and she looks fabulous. Like she's going to be an excellent baddie.
Yeah, as Tinkerbell, she was incredible. Just the sweetest, loveliest fairy. And I've just walked back into where we were having a bit of lunch with Sarah in full costume, and you're like, who is this psycho? She looks unreal.
And just for the final thing for us to chat through. So obviously, as part of Aladdin, one of the big key themes of the show and the piece that you've written is about wishing.
Yeah.
Just talk a little bit about the importance of wishing, and we've got we have a campaign at the moment for people to write in their wishes, and we're going to try and make as many wishes as we can come true through the run of Aladdin. But yeah, just talk a little bit about your wishes and what you hope people wish for.
Oh wow, that's a tough question. I can. When I was a youngster growing up in Roach and going to school in Poltaire and college in St Austell, and I realised I wish I could be an actor. Some of the things I get to do now, my wishes have come true. Like if I stop tomorrow or January, whatever, and my wishes have come true. I couldn't ask for more, really. Don't
stop tomorrow or January.
I won't, absolutely not. I need to make up some new wishes, but I think wishing is a wonderful theme to incorporate into a show, because we've all got different wishes and different dreams and different ambitions, and I suppose in lots of ways they're the same things. And I guess I wish that and hope and know people will come along as they do every year to the hall and leave And throughout the year, the one thing I get all year is that pantomime you were in was amazing. Everyone is brilliant. The hall is brilliant. And I guess I just wish that will keep going. And then we've got the central theme of wishing in Aladdin as well, which we talk to the audience about and tie it in with the marketing. So I think it could be really special this year with the theme of wishing.
And I think in all that's happening in the world, I wish it was a better place. And so I wish the world was a better place. But actually, for that 2.5 hours where we lift people up, put them in a seat and give them the best time ever, is that we're a respite for all of that. And I suppose what I also love is that essence of Christmas. And it's part of the festive season, and we in the theatre start dressing up the bars and all of those things. That it's that moment where every young person is wishing for something at Christmas. So it feels like we're a Christmas sort of overload, supersizing wonderfulness as we approach. And it's only September, Ed.
Yeah. And I think, it's important to remember, there's someone that's not part of this. And it'd be nice if they were around. And we're very lucky to be here doing this, aren't we? Absolutely. It's funny how wishing can hit you maybe where you don't want it to when you're making a podcast, but we're very lucky to be here. That's what I think. Maybe that's why I feel like my wishes are granted. Yeah,
exactly that. I think for all of us, it's about kind of keeping all those things going, and the fabulous work that Kirsty did when Kirsty was here, and we very much wish that we keep going and doing things in her honour and memory as well.
Yeah.
And do you wish that Gary Barlow would come and see your show?
I mean, always, Julien. That's we just did a staff training day, and I was trying to get all of our staff to think about what their wishes might be, and the only wish I could come up with in front of everybody was that I wish that Gary Barlow loved me.
My wish, everyone take that, is that you get to take that tattoo.
Oh yeah, maybe that's...
I'll pay for it.
Yes, so will I. Just to see Si's face.
If you pay for take, and then I'll pay for that.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Excellent. I will promise to share the photo.
Oh, let's see if wishes do come true, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
At a tattoo parlour near you.
Yeah.
Oh, and on that note, everyone, I think we might be finished. Thank you very, very much. Anything else you'd like to share before we sign off?
No, actually.
We can't follow that. We can't follow the Take That tattoo. So, yeah, book your tickets, everybody. hallforcornwall.co.uk. Tickets from £15, and we start very, very soon. We're photos today. We're September the 5th today, and the show opens on the 6th of December.